Okay. Once again, good morning, everyone. My name
Good
is
morning, sir.
Mr. Bosco, and I'll be taking you through product design. My colleague just finished talking about the whole stage of product development, and he mentioned product design as well. So I'll be taking you specifically on product design, what product design entails, and how you can design your digital product, which has to do with probably applications or web applications. Okay? Can we all see the screen?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. So yeah, like I said, the topic is
Yes, sir.
yeah, thank you, everyone. The topic is designing digital products, and the course is Introduction to Product Design. Okay. All right, thank you. Okay. So I'll start by defining what product design is. We'll define the two terms. We have a product, which is any tangible good, intangible service, digital item, or idea offered to make a market to a market to satisfy the user's needs. Now we all know, products go from things like cornflakes or your Omo or even your clothes to things like cars, to buildings, even service. Like the definition, a service you offer, you design a website for someone, that's a service and it's also a product. For people who do hair making, it's a service and it's also a product. So a product is any tangible good, any intangible service, or a digital item or idea offered to a market. A market is a group of consumers, a group of users to, satisfy the user's desire. Now, people who want to buy cars either want to buy cars so that they can have a more comfortable means of transportation from one place to another. So the car manufacturers now come together and say, okay, how do we design cars that offer this comfortable means of transportation from one place to another? And now we have a design. I'll define a design. A design is a plan or a drawing produced to show the look and function or workings of a building, garment, or other object before it is made. Now it's important before anything is done, anything solid, you have to go through a design phase. Like my colleague mentioned earlier, you have to design it. If not, if you just decide to start building without having any solid design, you are going to meet hurdles at the end when you keep going. Like if you say, okay, you want to, okay, sorry, am I being audible?
No,
Yes.
sir.
Okay, you're not hearing me clearly.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Okay. Let me hear this. Okay, sorry. I'll try to be more audible. I thought I was audible enough. Okay, so I'm talking about design. I'm I'm okay. Let me define the design again. A design is a plan or a drawing produced to show the look and function or workings of a building, garment, or other object before. I hear. Can you indicate in the chat because I'm not really hearing anyone.
We can hear you, sir.
Okay, clearly now.
Yes, sir. We can hear
Yes,
you.
sir.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Uh, okay. So like I was saying, before a building is being built, before you can even dig the foundation, you have to draw what we call the blueprint. The blueprint is basically the design. You have to design the building from the foundation up. You have to design the building from the foundation up. And you cannot leave anything to chance. If you leave something to chance, there's a chance that that building might collapse at the end or might be faulty. So in this next slide, we can see the design of a car, the Mercedes AMG GT. And you can see that the car is designed from, okay, you can see that the car is designed from different angles, from the side, from the back, from the front, and from the top. This is to ensure that every angle is being covered. When it comes to the position of the seating, you can see that it takes only two people to sit down in the car. When it comes to the size of the engine, the car is designed in such a way that the engine can fit into, the front part. And when it comes to just different items, you can see that everything, you have to put everything into perspective. Even the tires, you have to measure the size of the tires and the space given for the tires in the car. So everything has to be given, everything has to be measured, and that's just what design is about. You can see the blueprint on the left hand side, and on the right hand side, you can see the finished product. My colleague talked about the back end and the front end. So basically, this one at the left hand side, the back end. I'm sure most of you, when you enter the car, you will not see the engine. You may not see the gears shifting or all those things, but you just see the chairs, you just see the outside, the windscreen, and everything. So, but this is what goes on the inside. This is what people think through before you can see a finished car like the one on the right hand side. Okay?
What again? Leave it, not the mic.
Okay. Now I'm going to define what product design is. No, I didn't design the car. I just brought it as an example. I just brought it as an example to show you that, every product has to go through the design phase. Okay. So now product design. Product design is the process of imagining, creating, and iterating products, both physical goods and digital software, to solve user problems or address specific needs. So now every product, even clothes, like I said, go through the design process. But today we are specifically going to be talking about digital products, which has to do with your websites, your web applications, just things, just applications you use on your phone. The world today is not the world as it was 20 years ago. People now live online. People spend more time with their phones. There's this feature that Apple has that can send you reports on your average usage of your phone, probably in the previous week. So you can tell you, okay, last week you used your phone for 10 hours a day. You can tell you last week you used your phone for 15 hours a day. So a lot of people spend time on their phone. That's why businesses are moving online, because people are no longer going out as much as they used to. They now spend the time on their phone. That's why we have the digital industry making a lot of money. We have digital marketers, and then we have web development making a lot of money, because people are spending time on their phones and people are shopping on their phones. They are watching movies on their phones. Everything now can be done from just your mobile device. So you can see that the industry is a very large one. Now, examples of digital products: we have mobile applications, we have websites, we have school portals, and we have learning platforms. I'm sure some of your schools have portals where you can pay your school fees and probably buy books or whatever. Okay. So a lot of schools have portals for all those things. Those are examples of digital products. Okay. Okay. Now, I'll need you to mute your mic. Which way is this?
Yeah. Now.
So let's keep going. Okay, thank you. All right. So these are examples of digital products. Now we can see a design on the right hand side, and we can see one under. Now this design on the right hand side, this is Airbnb. Airbnb is an application that Okay, yeah. If you have questions, you can write it in the chat section so I can get to it. Airbnb is an application people use to book apartments. Probably if somebody is traveling to, let's say somebody is traveling to Lagos, you can use Airbnb to book a hotel or an apartment while you are staying in Lagos. Let's say you want to stay for 2 or 3 days, you can book an apartment, a fully furnished apartment, and stay there for your period. Maybe you are going for business or you are going for an event. You can book a particular location and stay there. That's what Airbnb does. Okay. So this application we are seeing by the right hand side is Airbnb, but it's the mobile design. The one we have under is the desktop design. That's the one you see when you're either working with your laptop or you're working with your desktop computer. So most times when designers and web developers are working, you have to design both for mobile and both for desktop, because some people will access your website through their phones and some other people can access it through the computers or the laptops. So it's important that you do the two designs. Okay, so moving on. Okay, what do product designers do? Product designers combine problem solving, technology, design, and user understanding. Now, understanding your users is a very important phase in product design. If you design a product and it does not relate well with your user, then you may have to design it again. You have to go through the whole process of research and then asking your users for their opinions. You can see an example is recently when the whole tax system came in, because there was a law that if you send more than 10,000 naira to another person, yeah, 15 naira will be deducted from your account. So Opay now came up with an idea of bringing an option that you can just click 9,999 naira. If you send that, then the 50 naira will not be deducted from your account. And a lot of people were already they had discovered, because a lot of people were, instead of sending 10,000, they will send 9,999 naira. So Opay say, okay, let's make it easier for our customers. They just put the option there. That's an example of design thinking. You put your users into perspective. What your users are doing, you make sure you put it into perspective when you are doing your design. Okay, so yeah, the design product designers go through the problem solving stage, using technology and design to solve problems. Okay, so we are going to talk about the product design mindset. And for a product to be useful, it must solve the problem it is designed to solve. Good products solve real problems. If you design a product or you design an application to remind you to do your homework, and at the end of the day, it does not remind you to do your homework, then that application is basically useless, because it has not performed the what it was designed for. The function that it was designed for, it has not performed it. So any product or any application that doesn't perform what it has been designed to perform is not a good application. Okay, so you can think of what problems exist in your school or around you. Maybe people forget their timetable, or maybe you have particular classes, people forget the classes they have and then they carry the wrong books, or people forget their assignments. By the time they give you assignment, you go home and you forget it. You now want to probably design an application that will help you remember your assignments, not just to do the assignment, but also to bring the assignment to school. That is an example of a problem, and also solutions that you can use to address these problems. Now, like I said, when designing a product, you have to understand your users. A product must be designed for someone or a particular group of people. The given target set for the given target set of your users can also be termed as stakeholders. Um, okay. So now, when you design a product, it's usually for a given target set. When you design, the people that design financial apps like OP, they are designing for their customers, people that want to send money or receive money. There's an application called Duolingo. If you want to learn other languages, say you want to learn French, you want to learn German, there's Duolingo. If you want to learn any language, you can go there. That's the particular function for that application. And they are giving target set is people that want to learn foreign languages. You want to learn, even if you want to learn English, you can go on Duolingo. Now, if you are designing an application for a school, who will be your stakeholders? Now, bear in mind your stakeholders are the people that are going to use your application. Anybody that is going to use your application or they are going to interact with your application, those are your stakeholders. So I would like to know your opinion. If you are designing an application for a school, who are the people in a school that can use your application? I will need examples from you in the chat box. Okay. Let's see. Okay, thank you. We have students, we have teachers. Thank you. I appreciate you. Ministry of Education, yes, that's also true. The school administrators, the principal, even the parents as well. These are people, even you, okay, someone say your classmates, that's very true. Teachers and students, you're all correct. You're all correct, especially students, mostly students, because the school is just centering around, okay, just as Kashi says, parents, okay, teachers and students. Thank you very much. I appreciate your input. So yes, mostly going to be teachers, students, administrators, let's say your principal, the bossa, or where these are the stakeholders in a school. So if you are designing an application for a school, these are most likely going to be your users, the students, the parents, the teachers. Okay? So you bear in mind if you have an idea, okay, somebody said the PTA, GSS and PAPI. Thank you very much. Just a student Wada says school management. Thank you very much. These are the people that can interact with the application. Okay. So when you are now designing this application, you bear in mind, okay, I'm designing for this given set of people. What would they use? What would students like to see? Or what would the teachers like to see? Or what are the given features that appeal more to the students or the teachers, depending on the people your stakeholders that you're designing your application for. Okay, so moving on. All right. So now we have a real example here. And the problem, like I had said earlier, let's say students forget assignment. This is the problem now. I'm sure at some point in time, some of us have forgotten our assignments. Let's say math assignment has been given to you. You went home, you did the assignments, and then in the morning while rushing for your school or for your class, you forgot those assignments. And now a possible solution for that can be a homework reminder app, an app that sends you reminders for students to do your homework and also to take the homework to school the next day, because it's also possible for you to sit down and do the homework and you forget it at home, and it's possible for you to go home and then you forget to do the homework totally, and then you wake up the next morning and that's when you remember the homework, which is already too late. So now an application can now send you reminders. Let's say in the evening by 4 p.m. you get home, a reminder gets into your phone that you have a math homework that is due tomorrow, or you have an English assignment that is due next tomorrow. You need to start doing it now, okay? So this is an example of a real problem that exists for a lot of students and a solution that can also address it. Okay, we have a product thinking framework, and designers approach designs from this direction. Now you have to think of the problem like this, like the previous one I just talked about. There's a problem, students forget their assignments, so we are looking for a solution for the problem. Then you look at the user. Who are the users? Is the students. The students are going to be forgetting their homework, even though it's going to benefit the teachers, because teachers don't like it when the students forget their homework. It does not help their work at all, but the main beneficiaries are the students. So now what will now be the solution? Now, any form of designers, whether web designers, even fashion designers, they go through this framework. They have to think of their users. Who are their, or the problem first? What is the problem we're encountering? What is
who are the users that are encountering this problem. And the next example is mostly fashion designers. Now, when fashion designers are designing clothes, they have to put their users in mind. Let's say for a winter season, you have to put your user in mind. Okay, what type of clothes do people wear in winter, or when the temperature is cold? Because that's winter, when the temperature is cold, or during rainy season, what type of clothes do people mostly wear? You can see from these pictures I have on the slide that it's mostly going to be cardigans or long clothes, maybe trousers, just things that are thick that can keep you warm. These are what fashion designers go through. This is what they think about before they design clothes. And then the next example is when you have like hot season, when you have heat, like the season we are currently in now. What do people usually wear? You see that people can now wear short sleeves, people can now wear more free clothes. So these are examples of putting your users in your mind, and then the problem your users are going through before you design your solutions. Okay. Now we have product thinking. Good products start with a clear problem. Okay, when you want to design a product, you need a clear problem in mind. You don't need to make it ambiguous or too big. You want to solve all the problems at once. No, you think of one single problem and your users that are encountering that problem, and then you focus on it. You don't need it to be too big. Now we have the key aspects of product design. Okay, I think somebody's mic is still on. I'll need you to mute your mic. Okay. Okay. So now the key aspect of product design, you have user-centered approach. Okay, user-centered approach. Like I said, everything has to do with your user. You have to think about your user while you are designing your application. Because at the end of the day, if you design something that your user can't use, your application is as good as useless. If the user that you are designing it for sees this application and say, Kai, I can't work with this, or I don't understand what this your application does, your application is as good as useless. So you have to focus on understanding your end users in pain points, the behaviors, and the needs to create an intuitive or usable solution. If you want to design an application for your teachers, maybe for teachers to create their lesson notes, you need to talk to your teachers. You ask them, okay, what problems are they having when they are designing their lesson notes? And then you take this into perspective, focus on those their problems, and then you design things that can apply to them. You don't just go and start designing anything that you feel like, okay, if you are having this problem, this is what you want. You have to talk to your end users first. You have to see what their problem is. That's why my colleague talked about using Google Forms. You use Google Forms to get what your users are going through, to get feedback from your users and say, okay, this is what we are going through, and this is how you can address our problems. Okay. We have multidisciplinary process which integrates skills from various fields, including industrial design, for physical goods, user experience, engineering, and marketing. Now, you need to be able to, as a product designer, you need to be able to do your research on a particular product. If you are designing a website for, let's say, a company now, let's say a real estate company, you have to go to the real estate and ask them their target users, how their market works, let's say the pricing, and probably just how the market works. You need to get a feel of their market, and then you have the iteration and prototyping. Like my colleague had talked about, when you design an application, it doesn't just end there. You ask for feedback. Most application, if you use for like let's say 6 months, after 6 months, you see that they've asked you to update, because some people have said, okay, we don't like where the cancel button is, we don't like where this particular one is, we are not seeing this thing, so they have to go back and work on it, and then they release another version. That's what prototyping and iteration is. It involves developing concepts through prototyping, testing, and refining, which often continues even after the product launches. So it's not just when you just design, you are not ever going to design a perfect solution. You are going to design what you have gone through, and you talk to your users, you've understood their pain points, and then you design the first iteration and you give them to use. They say, okay, this solves our problem, but it still has this. Maybe this is still lagging. maybe the homepage is still lagging or something is still lagging. So you still go back, you design, you solve that particular problem, and you give them again. They say, okay, you've solved this one. But we discovered that when we want to go back to the previous page, it takes us to another page instead. You now go back. That's what iteration means. You keep iterating as they give you another problem that the application has. You keep iterating, and then your application gets better with each iteration. Okay. So now we now have business alignment. It ensures that the designed product solves a problem while aligning with the company's strategic objectives and marketability. If you design a particular product and it's not marketable, then it's basically useless, because most companies want something that can be marketable, something that can help their business. If you are designing an application for a real estate firm, if you design a website and people go to the website and they are bored, they are not able to buy the real estate properties from the website, they still have to go to the office, then is as good as useless. You have not solved your users' problems. So it has to align with the users' needs and be marketable, help them to solve their needs. We have the scope, covers the entire product life cycle from initial research and ideation to manufacturing or software development. My colleague spoke on ideation. Ideation is the very first stage you have when you are designing a product. You sit down and think, okay, what problem is this user facing? And then you write it down. That's the ideation phase. You make sure you take note of it, and then you now go to the user. That's research. You talk to the user about, okay, what problems are you facing in this environment? Okay. Do we have any questions? If you have any questions, you can just put it in the chat box. Okay, sorry. JSS and Papi said I'm going too fast. So okay, I'll slow down a bit. Okay. So we now have pillars of product design. These are, when you talk about pillars, for people that have seen where they are building a house, pillars are structures that are placed to make sure that the building is strong, the building does not collapse easily. So for a given design to be strong, for it to be said, okay, this is a good design, it needs these given pillars. We have number one, the functionality, ensuring the product performs its intended purpose effectively. If you are designing an application to, let's say, an alarm to wake you up early, and this alarm does not wake you, maybe you set the alarm for 5 o'clock and it's waking you up at 5:30, it's not serving your purpose effectively. So that's what functionality has to do. You have to serve a particular purpose effectively, you have to address it effectively. Reliability has to do with building a product that works consistently over time. Your product should not be like Airtel network that maybe in the night it works faster and then in the afternoon it's lagging, or let's say Glow network that if you are within Abuja is fast and then by the time you are approaching Kefi it becomes slow. It should be effective anywhere. If you leave your house, you should still be able to use that particular product. Okay, your website should not be a kind of website that it only works in the day. When you now log in at night, the website is shut down. It has to be reliable, especially for when you talk about financial applications. People use financial applications anytime, anywhere. So if they go to somewhere and they discover, okay, this place, your financial application does not work here, it can cause a lot of problem. You can lose a lot of users because of that. Okay, we have the third pillar, which is usability, making the product intuitive and easy for the user to understand and interact with. Now, when you are designing a product, like I said, you have to pay mind to your users. If you are designing a product for, let's say, elderly people that are older, you need to know that, okay, you need simple designs. You don't have to make it choked up, because mostly old people just want a particular application to solve a particular need, and mostly you either have to make your icons bigger, because this is a particular age group that have declining eyesight. Most of them are already using glasses. So if your icons are now very small, people are now finding it hard to find icons in your solution. So this is the usability we are talking about. Your target audience have to know how they can use their system. Okay, and now we have aesthetics. creating a visually appealing design that evokes a positive emotional response with as much simplicity as possible. Too many features make a product confusing and difficult to use. Now, aesthetics means you have to make it has to be fine. Basically, your application has to be fine. If you enter an application and there are too many colors or the writing is small, it's not going to appeal to you. You are not going to want to come back there to use it so often. If you use Duolingo, you will discover that they make a lot of user-friendly designs. They don't have too rigid designs like that. It's always very user-friendly, okay? So we are going to keep going so that I can do a quick demo on Figma, which is the application we designers use to design applications, okay? Now, on the screen, we have an example of a UI. UI, like my colleague had talked about, is user experience, and you also have UX. Sorry, UI is user interface, and UX is user experience. Now, this is a daily grocery food application where people go to buy things like oranges, you go to buy things like watermelon, and you can see how friendly it is. It shows you everything you need to know, the type of the orange, the price, and you have the product design and the product description and everything. So this is a friendly design. This is something that you can go to and you can relate with easily. Okay, that's something in the chat. Okay, more on the business alignment. Okay, now most of the time when you're asked to design an application, it's mostly going to be for a business. You get, like I made example with the real estate. Now, a real estate company can come to you and say, okay, we need our users to be able to buy lands from our websites. We don't just want a situation where they have to come to our website to buy the lands. We need to be able to go to the and come to the office to buy the lands. We need them to go to the website, look at the lands, look at the prices, and all the features of the land and buy the land. So you as the designer will now go back and say, okay, who are your customers typically? Who are the people that are coming to buy your lands? Who just get a whole picture of their business, how they sell their lands, all the documents required while they are selling the land, the RFO, the CFO, all those things. You have to pay attention to all those things because when someone wants to buy land, they check for RFO, they check for CFO, they check for the location of the land, the price of the land, probably previous ownership as well, just to get a whole view of what they are buying or what they are spending their money on. So this is sorry. Okay, this is everything that has to do with you have to make sure that your product aligns with the particular your particular use case. Okay, someone asked for the myth of technology. I'm not sure I understand. Okay, myth is probably what you believe about something. You get what you think about something. So if you're talking about the myth of technology, is what you believe about technology or how you believe technology can, apply to your particular use case. Okay. I think someone's audio is still on. Okay. So moving on to the next slide. I'm going to talk about wireframing. Okay. My colleague mentioned wireframing earlier. This is like the basic step. When you are designing a particular product, you design the wireframe, which is just like the raw sketch. People that are artists, they have what we call the raw sketch. You sketch something. Okay, let me check the chat. You have what we call the raw sketch, so that they will sketch the whatever they want to draw first before they draw the finished version. So let me check the. They have a question in the chat. Okay. Okay, someone is asking GSS Gogolada, what can I use to create an application Now, to design the application, we use what we call Figma. When you talk about creating the application, that's the web and development, you will use things like HTML, CSS, JavaScript. But before you create that application, you have to design it, which is what we are talking about today, the designing part of the application. Okay. Now, before you design an application, you use something called wireframe. Okay. Wireframes are simple sketches of product screens. They show the layout buttons, the navigation, they show the layout buttons, navigation, and content placement. It just shows everything, how your screen is supposed to be. If you are designing a website, it shows, okay, this is where the picture is going to be, this is where this button is going to be, this is where this text is going to be. That's what wireframe is. When you have a wireframe, you don't need colors, because this is just dealing with the structure. When you are doing the wireframe, you're only dealing with the structure of the application. You don't need the colors at that point. Okay, I have an example of a wireframe here. Okay, this is a wireframe for a mobile application. You can see where you have the first screen. Okay, you can see where you have the first screen, you have the second screen, you have the login screen, you have forgot pass. So these are all wireframes. When you are dealing with a solution, you first. Okay, I think I have to share my screen again. Okay, sorry, it was a network glitch. So let me share screen.
Sorry, I've not answered my questions.
Okay, sorry, let me check. Which question was that exactly?
I said, you can use Python to create apps, right?
Yes, you can use Python to create application, but Python is mostly used for back end and data science. Python is mostly you have libraries in Python like Django and Flask. It's mostly used for back end, not for front end. When you are dealing with front end, we mostly use JavaScript. Okay. We mostly use JavaScript for front end. Okay. The process of creating an application, like I said, you first, the problem phase, you talk to your users, say, okay, this is the problem they are facing, and then you go into design. You design based on what your users have told you, okay, this is the type of problem we are facing, and this is how we want you to solve the problem. Then you design it using Figma, which we are going to go into in a few minutes. You use Figma to create the design, and after creating that design, you hand it over to the web developer, who is now going to develop the particular solution, and then give it to the users at the end. When you are finished developing the solution, you give it to the users. The users will test it and use it. And if they have a problem with it, they can also give feedback to the web developer and say, okay, this is the problem we are facing with your application. The web developer goes back and say, okay, if it's a design problem, you bring back the UI UX designer and say, okay, this is the problem that users are encountering, is a design problem. And then the UI UX is now going to redesign the particular feature or the particular problem that the users are having, and then now going to give it back again for the users to test and give their feedback. Okay, does that answer the question? All right.
Yes, sir. But sir, what if the funds are not there? Like if you are buying local host now, you have to pay.
Okay, I'll need you to write some of those questions in the chat, so answer them later. Because of time, we still have a lot of slides to cover, and I need to do the demo for free. Okay, so now,
No problem.
okay, I'll need you to mute your microphone, please. Okay, thank you. Okay, so moving on. Simple product design flow. Like I said, you identify your problem, you understand your user, you design your solution, you sketch the screens, which is the wireframe, and then you test the idea. Okay. So now we are going to go into Figma, which is the application that product designers use to design the product before they hand it over to the web designer. Figma is the most commonly used product design tool. It allows designers to utilize shapes, colors, icons, and text to design web and mobile solutions. It is free and has both the web app and the mobile application. For our class today, we'll be using the web application, okay? Okay, so we are trying to open up the Figma, the web application. So I'm going to show you the interface, how it looks like, and how you can design a basic solution, a basic web application, or a basic mobile application using your Figma, okay? Okay, so now when you search Figma login, you can just go into Google and search for Figma. It's going to take you to where you can log into your Figma or just create a basic account. Okay, so this is like the login process for getting into Figma. Okay, most applications now, this is also an example of user-centered design. Most applications these days, if you don't want to create a fresh account, you can decide to create an account using your Google, your Gmail. Since most things you do these days is using Chrome, you can just create an account using Gmail. This is a user-centered design. These are things that applications have thought through and say, okay, instead of asking users to start filling a fresh form, we can just say, okay, we ask Google for their information, just basic information such as their name and those basic things. Okay. So now for the web version of Figma, this is what it looks like. It's still loading, so we're going to see it in a bit. Okay. So now if you want to create a fresh design, you come to where you have drafts, which is by the left-hand side, and you click on the plus button. Okay. And then to ask you, okay, you come to design, and then it's going to open what we call a canvas. Okay. Thank you. So this is what our UI UX canvas looks like. For fresh users, it's going to like take you through like a basic demo. You can see here the add text layers with your toolbar. This is our toolbar. We are going to be using this very well. When you go to next, it tells you about your assets. We are going to also
Sorry,
use.
we have been having issues with network in Tonga, so we are just coming.
Oh, okay. You're welcome. That's Tungamaji, right? You're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay, we are just doing a demo of the application we use for product design, for designing solutions. Okay, we talked about this particular this is your toolbar. These are the tools you'll be using. You have frames, you have your shapes, you have your pen tool here, you have the text, and then the other tools. Okay.
Yes, I understand.
All right. Now you have layers here. When you start design, you start seeing things appearing here. Those are your layers of when you deal with frames, you deal with shapes, and all of them you'll see their features here. Um, sorry. Okay. So now I'm going to start designing a basic. Okay, I'm going to start designing a basic application so that we can have an idea what it looks like. Okay, you go to frame. Okay, I think we have a question in the chat section. Okay, no problem. So now for when we want to design a mobile design, we are going to use iPhone 13.
Please use iPhone 17.
Now, the why we don't use iPhone 17 is because it's a new UI. And if you design using iPhone 17, people using earlier versions of iPhone like iPhone X or iPhone 11 will not be able to use it because iPhone 17 has things like the dynamic island. People still using iPhone 11 don't have dynamic island. So some features that you put for dynamic island cannot be used in iPhone 11 or earlier iPhones. So you use something more neutral like iPhone 13. That's why we are going to use iPhone. Here you have iPhone 13 and 14. So yeah. Okay, so these are iPhone 13 frame. Okay. Okay. So now let's say we want to design a login page, a basic login page. We have our frame.
Sir, is it only iPhone we can use?
No, it's not only iPhone. There are also okay. Please, can you put those questions in the chat section?
Oh, we are not seeing anything. Let's go.
Okay, I think that's a network issue. Okay. Now, when you come to frames, okay, you see that here you have iPhone, down you have Android, you have tablet. If you want to design for web or desktop application, you have desktop here. In your desktop, you have MacBook Air, you have MacBook Pro 14, you have MacBook Pro 16, you have desktop. You even have for TV. So if you are designing different applications, you have different design devices that you can test here, interfaces you can test for here. Okay. Let me do this. Okay. We are working on this. Okay. Okay. I'm seeing 5 chats. Okay. No, you can't use Figma to code, please. You can't use Figma to code. And Corel Draw is only used for graphic design. It's not used for UI UX. It's not used to design applications because you don't have all these features of frames in Corel Draw. Okay. The rectangle is going to be gotten from this shapes tool where we have our toolbar. That's where we have rectangle. You have different shapes here. But this particular one, yes, you can create design for all phones. You can create design for all phones because when you go to your testing phase, you are going to test on different devices. Okay. So now this shape or this rectangle we have here is not just a shape, it's what we call a frame. And we are going to be using it to design for our iPhone 13 and iPhone 14. Just that. And let's say we are designing a login page, okay? I'm just going to design a simple login page. So here we have tools. Let's see, asking questions. Okay. Yes, from the toolbar. You can export it to different devices using this share. Since this is the web version, you can share it here and then you copy the link. When you copy the link, you send it to the device. When the person clicks the link, it will take you to this particular design. Okay, that's how you can share. But when you are sharing, you ensure that you click here where you have anyone can view. Because if you don't click here, then people may have restricted access. You make sure that anybody can view before you share the given link. Okay. All right. So let's say we're designing a basic login page. You have something like the logo. Okay. Yes. So now, when you are, let's say, login page, what do login pages have? Mostly is the username. You have a space for username, you have space for password, and then you have space for login. Most login pages also have the logo of the application. So let's say we want to design for Google. Okay. Now we also have what we call plugins and widgets. This is to help you in your design. It's like we have some questions. See. Okay, no questions. Okay, GSS Karen, greeting. Thank you. I see you and you're welcome. Thank you for being here today. Okay. Brand pitch. Okay. Okay. Brand fetch. This is a plugin you can use to get different brands. So let's say we want to design something for Google. Go to brand fetch. Okay, continue. Get started. So, okay, let's say we want to design something for Google. We can look for their logo. These are the different logos that Google use. Let's say, come for this. Now, you have the Google logo, but it's quite big, so you have to reduce it. Okay. So when you want to zoom in or zoom out, you can do that with your mouse. You can zoom into your design with your mouse, or you can zoom out. Okay. I want to reduce the size of this because this is not supposed to be bigger than. Okay. So if you want to reduce it without changing the shape, you can lock in. These are the dimensions of this particular one. Okay. Okay. So we don't have a lot of time, so I'll just do this as quick as possible. Okay. Let's do this as quick as possible. This is still quite big, so. Okay, so in case we are not able to finish, I'm going to drop the remaining details on the YouTube page so that you can come back whenever you have the chance to, okay? So something as basic as this, then for our, now here you have different tools. You have your rectangle, you have line, you have arrow, you have ellipse, which is basically a circle. You have polygon, which is a triangle, and then you have star. So let's use the rectangle for now. I want to create. This is a space for username. Okay. So can do this to make it rounded. Go to the corner radius. This corner radius handles the corners. So you can put 10 for the corner radius and it becomes a bit rounder. See, the corners are rounder now. But you still need it to be more rounder. You go to the corner, you can increase this to 20. Okay. Now they're more rounder. Let's centralize this. Okay. And then for the color, we want a stroke. The stroke is the line around. This line around it, the black line that just formed, that's what we call the stroke. And then for fill, we want it to be, this is a color picker. So you can just pick this color.
Now, how did the Google sign come to be?
Okay, you go to this in the toolbar. Okay, in the toolbar, you go to this actions. You search for brand fetch. Okay, this is brand fetch. You search for brand fetch here. Under plugins and widgets, you search for brand fetch, and then you open your brand fetch. Now, in brand fetch, you can get different brands. Any brand that you're looking for, probably their logo. Even if you're looking for Apple, you can see it in brand fetch. You're looking for Airbnb, you can see it in brand fetch. Okay. So for any more questions, you can go to the YouTube page. We are going to answer all the questions and there will be more details there. So let's just finish this. Their name. Okay. See? So I'm just trying to create like the most simple design. This is like a login page for Google. So let's design the sign in button. Okay. I don't understand your explanation. Figma might be confused. Okay, Figma is completely free, please. Figma is free. You don't have to pay before using Figma. Like you just search Figma on your Google. It's going to take you there and how to create a new account, and then you don't have to pay for Figma. Design for a game. Yeah, it's a bit complex, but it's something you can do on Figma. Okay. So more information on this would be on the YouTube page, right? All right. Okay, on the WhatsApp, sir. So, okay. A Figma for creating websites. Yes, for designing websites, not creating. For creating websites, you use programming languages like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and the rest. Yes, those are for creating websites. Can it be downloaded as a permanent app? Yes, it can. There's the app version. So okay, just for our time, I'm going to round up as quick as possible. Okay, we have about 4 minutes left. Okay, so this is like the most basic application you can see, where you have your logo, you have your username, and then you have a password. So you can create something as simple as this for your application. Okay, so this concludes our product design class. Any more questions you can leave in the chat section. Okay, and my colleague will address you on other things concerning this and the whole program as well. So thank you for your attention, and I hope you have learned something today.
Yes.
Oh, hello, everyone. So today we'll be talking about everything that we have learned so far on the Tech Bridge program, because today brings us to the end of the program. Right here with me, you have our community manager. So she has been the one taking care of the WhatsApp group, making sure that all the communities are aligning. The communities, we mean the teachers and the students, the school authority, education board, and every other person. So to conclude the program on today, we want the schools involved to design a product. So we'll be designing a product which will entail identifying a problem, design a product, draw your screens, and present your ideas. Let me say it again. Identify a problem. So you go around your school, you know the problem that you are facing in your school.
Sir, please, can you repeat the assignment? We did not get you.
Okay. So can you mute your hair? So you go around your school, you go around your community.
Sir, please repeat the.
You go around your school. Hold on. Just listen to me now. So you go around your school, you talk to your students, talk to your teachers, talk to the school authorities. You identify a problem. You design a product. You draw your screen, just like your tutor, Gus, will have shown you how to draw your screen. You present your ideas. So we'll be having another class, but it'll be like a video demonstration on how to use Figma. So you can have it on YouTube on how to draw your screens. So as I've said, identify a problem, design a product, draw the screen, present your idea. So after doing this assignment, you're going to do it through your holiday. You're going to present this assignment on beginning of third term. It gives you enough time to think and work on these activities. Okay? Are we all together?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be a competition among.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So it's going to be a competition among all the schools. So every school here will have to do the same. Identify a problem, design a product, draw your screens, and present your ideas. So we'll be coming to your school to see how much you have done this next week. So we'll be visiting some schools next week. We'll be coming to Jabi, we'll be coming to
Yes, sir.
Mabuchi, we'll be coming to Karishi, we'll be coming to Kwakwalada, we'll be coming to see all of you in person to see how far you've gone. If you have questions, you're going to see us in your school in person to ask us these questions. So that is that on your assignment. So this is going to be a holiday assignment. Okay? So we'll be posting these videos on YouTube. So I think you should go to our YouTube page at Induced Tech Foundation on YouTube. You'll be seeing how to use Google Forms, how to use Fiverr, how to use collaboration tools, how to use Figma, how to use Canva, how to use Google Doc, how to use Google Sheets. So you say, what do I mean by draw your screen? Draw your screen is just the same thing that is. Draw your screen means the same thing that Godwill did on Figma. Yes, this is how you draw your screen. You can see it is already, the screen is still sharing. So you can see how to draw your screen. So we'll be showing you all this on our YouTube page. Okay, so we'll be teaching you step by steps on designing a product, drawing your screen, and presenting your ideas. Okay, so if you have any question, you keep dropping it on the comment section because it's going to be. Okay, so if you have any question, tell your teacher will drop it on the WhatsApp and they will hear about it. but we'll be coming to your schools next week to see some of you in person. Okay, so it's going to be a competition among all the schools. So there will be winners. So we'll be having the area council competition in the area council, whereby we'll be using GSS Wakwalada as the area council for Wakwalada area council. For all the schools in Wakwalada area council, we'll be using GGSS Dutse for the area council for Buhari. So I want all of us to take it serious, because the winners of this competition we're going to get laptops. The winners of this competition are going to get cash, are going to get prizes. And the winners of this competition are finally going to develop this product. And this product will be used just like the way we use Uber, the way we use Airbnb, the way we develop our own apps. Okay? So we'll be sharing you in groups, since we are a team of 5 people. So one person takes care of one thing to make sure that you come out with the best. Okay? So I wouldn't want any of you not to win a laptop to keep designing your product. Okay? There will be cash gifts, there will be earphones, there will be iPads, there will be iPhones, there will be tablets, there will be a lot of things, a lot of prizes to be won. There will be gadgets. Okay, so don't forget the assignment. You are going to take it home to Easter holiday. Identify a problem, design a product, draw your screens, present your ideas. So the person with the best idea, the person with the most practical idea, is going to
Sir.
the prize gift. I can hear you, just as Babalada.
So when is the area council competition?
So the area council competition is starting on the 30th of April. The area council competition is starting on the 30th of April. So it gives you enough time to prepare. And we are starting with Abaji area council and Kwali area council. Okay, are we all together?
Yes, sir. Sir, please, are we going to also create the app?
Yes, you're going to create the app after the competition. The winners of the competition will finally develop this app, and you'll be funded for this. So that's where you get your laptop. So the winners of this competition will get a laptop to help them create this app.
Oh, sir, for this level, are we going to create an app?
For this level, just
So is there going to be winner in each area
So, sir,
council,
are you
or
saying that
all the area
now
councils,
we're
each
only
area council there will be one winner?
Sir, do you mean that the assignment you give us is only to make a description of the app that we would love to make later, or what?
Yes, the assignment I'm giving you now is to identify a problem. So what are the problems that you encounter in your school? What are the problems that need solutions in your community? What are the problems that need solutions in your school? Design a product. So you now have to design this problem you identified. Then you draw your screen, just like how the previous tutor did. Is still sharing on the screen. You draw your screen. So we'll be able to show you how to draw your screen.
Sir, so when we identify the problem, are we going to create an app that solves the problem?
No, we are not developing the app yet. Okay, what you are developing is you are drawing your screen, and you're going to have a landing page. Okay, so when you've identified this problem, you have a landing page for it, which is the screen. So in pages, it will be in pages, 3 or 4 pages of you explaining this problem. Okay, do you understand me, GSS? Girls Secondary School, do say.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So your problem now.
Sir, is there going to be winner in each area council, or
Yes,
all the 6 area council there
there's
will
going
going
to
to
be
be one
one
winner?
winner in each area council. We'll have one winner in each area council, which will come for the grand finale on Children's Day, 27th May, where we'll have our final
Sir,
winner.
is this an individual project?
So we have 2 categories of this project. So we have the team project, which is the school competition, which you represent your school. Then you have your individual projects. Okay. So some of you can decide to have your own individual project. You see, like, oh, there's a problem in my community. My mom has a shop in the market, and I feel like people should be able to order things online. Let me create an app for my mother in the market so that she can be selling her goods. Okay, that is an individual project.
Sir,
I can hear you.
sir, I have a question. Like,
Okay.
sir, can you use like make a physical project, like you make something with Arduino that will solve the problem, or that can send the information to a laptop or to a database, something like that?
No, I didn't get your question. Can you repeat your question?
Sir, we're disconnected. None of the
Sir, like what you said is that we should create a problem, like we should create a solution to a problem,
Yes.
like
So I said
an
you should
app.
identify
So
a
the question
I said identify a problem.
so when, like, for example, when we identify a solution, like we are going to make a robot or something like Arduino project and connect it to the computer, can we make something like that?
If that solves a problem, it depends on the problem. Robot can if your robot solving it is allowed.
Sir, please, we were disconnected. We do not know the project.
Okay, okay. So the activity is identify a problem, design a product, draw the screens, and present your ideas. So the
Sir,
screen
please,
is
how do
also
we draw
the
this?
landing page. So it's just that you people are not in the class, in the last class. But we'll be dropping videos on how to draw a page. We'll be dropping videos on how to draw a page on YouTube.
Sir, please come again. I can't hear you.
Arishi,
Thank
can
you,
you
sir.
turn off your mic? Can you turn off your mic? So one person at a time.
Sir, so are we presenting both the individual and team project?
Yes, you are presenting both the individual and team project in the area council.
Sir,
I can hear you, Gowalada.
Sir, please, can one person be among both the team and individual?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Sir, please, we don't understand.
Okay.
Please come again.
So can you hear me now? So I'm coming again for you. GSSS, Government Science Secondary. So the assignment you're going to do through your holiday is identifying a problem, designing a product, drawing your screens, and presenting your idea. Okay? So on our YouTube page, we'll be dropping videos on how to identify a problem, how to design a product, how to draw your screens, and how to present your ideas. So for those of you that didn't join the class early, you'll be able to learn how to draw your screen because that is the most important part. And also learn how to design a landing page. Okay? And you also learn how to design your pitch.
Sir, is it going to be on
please,
YouTube?
how
Yes,
are we
it's
going
going to be on YouTube.
the
I can hear you, Karishi.
so how are we going to present the project?
They're going to present.
How are we going to present the project? Must it be an app?
You said, must it be an app? It's not going to be an app.
Yes, and how are we going to present the project?
Are we going to send it online?
Yes. So after designing your project, tag us as collaborators on all your projects. Then see your project. Karishi, can you turn off your mic? Okay. So we still confused.
Sir, can we do something that can promote
Yes.
entrepreneurship?
You can do anything.
Sir, what do you want us to present?
Sir, what exactly are we presenting on?
So you are going to identify just like the previous speakers have mentioned. So you feel like there's a problem in your school. You need an app to help you wake up in the morning. You need an app to remind you to do your assignments. You need an app for your timetable. You need an app for PTA. Okay. So if you are in the team and you also have your individual project, please, you must finish your team project before you move to your individual project. Okay.
Right. Sir,
yes,
can you create an app?
Yes, you can create an
Hello.
app.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I want to know that each school should indicate if they want to ask questions. So you give numbers. Let it be orderly. It is not proper. You are speaking. This school interjects you. You are trying to answer, and that school interjects you.
Okay.
So
Thank
they
you
should
so much.
finish the explanation. Then you give time for them to ask questions. Just number them number. Give your schools numbers to ask their questions.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, GSS Papi. So if you have a question, I'll give everybody an opportunity to ask their question, starting from GSS Tundu Wada. Do you have any question about this project? If you don't have any question,
yes, sir. We have a question.
let me hear your question, GSS Tundu Wada.
Sir, we would like to know what the individual project is and team project is so that we can understand how we are to project on that day.
Okay. The team project is identifying a problem in your school or in your community. Okay. That is what the team project is about. So, but in the yes, Karishi. Tundu Wada, can you hear me?
Excuse me, sir.
Tundu Wada.
Sir, when we are joining the screen. Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yes, Karishi. To you.
Sir, when we are joining the screen, are we presenting our ideas on the screen or are we presenting when we are doing all the presentation?
I didn't hear your question, Karishi.
Sir,
Sir, please,
when we are presenting our
deadline?
ideas, are we presenting it on the screen or we are doing a project? Then when we are presenting everything, we present it that day.
Yes, you're presenting everything that day. But you'll be collaborating us on your designs and on all your projects so we can see what we are doing.
Okay, sir.
So the landing
question.
videos for this thing.
Yeah, you don't just
Then Victor, we'll make videos for this thing.
I ask you questions. If you don't feel any.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi. Sir,
I'm here.
are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
So please, when is the deadline for the submission of the project?
So the deadline for the submission of a project is second week of resumption of third term. So that was like 24th of April.
So you didn't finish answering our question.
Which school is that? Tundu Wada? What was your question, Tunduwada? The group.
Our question was that can you explain further on the team project and the group project? Individual project.
So the team project is identifying a problem that the school have. Identifying a problem in your school. And the individual project is identifying a problem in your community. Okay? But the team project is before the individual project.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Sir, so when you said draw your screen, do you mean like presenting the ideas in something in a form like PowerPoint slides, or we want detailed explanation about drawing a screen?
Okay, a detailed explanation about drawing your screen is having something we just learned now on Figma. That is drawing your screen. That is the landing page. We didn't mention.
So please, can you send all these informations on the WhatsApp group so that we can catch up?
Yes, we'll drop all this information in details to your teacher so that.
That please be audible.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So which other question do you have? Rose, do you have anything to say? I see you online.
Oh, yes. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Good afternoon. It's good to see everybody again. Today's our final day, but we'll be meeting you definitely on the day of presentation. Just in summary to what Mr. Eze is trying to say, don't ask any question again, okay? Don't unmute yourself. Just listen carefully. You have a team project, which is the major project. You are a team of 5, right? You are all 5 in each schools, okay? You are going to present the best. You want to imagine yourself being the best. You want your school to win. So you're going to work as a team towards a problem. Think of anything in your school right now. What is a problem? What is that idea that you've been thinking that you can bring a solution to that problem? Do you understand? You come as a team, you work together, apply all that you've been taught. Today you were taught Figma, how to design a product. So let's say, for example, I'm giving you an example. I'm not saying you should go and do this one. Let's say there's a canteen in your school, right? And you need to be able to get food from the canteen, but you don't want to going to stand on the queue. That's a problem, right? And then you come and use this thing. Drawing the screen means using a tool like Figma. You draw, you saw how your teacher for today was able to show you how to draw on the screen. He showed you how to do Google, right? Where you have username, you have password, that is drawing the screen. So you bring in things. You're not going to build an app. Take notes. It's after you've won that you would now, somebody will hold your hands and teach you how to build an app. For now, you're not building an app. You're just going to write your ideas, explain how they would solve, and then submit. Right? You're working towards the 30th of April. Take note. So you have from now until, let's say, the 24th of April. So you have to work together as a team. And remember, you have to add us as collaborators. You saw how we're able to teach you using productivity tool, collaborative tool. When we're using the Google Doc, you have to add us. Even here on Figma, I saw that it showed you how to add somebody as a collaborator. Okay, and before we conclude, we need you to turn on your camera because we'll be taking a picture. Turn on your camera, keep the phone, smile, and so we can take a picture. So if you've not turned on the camera, please turn on the camera. We're going to send every detail to the WhatsApp group. Okay, so you read through the question and you work towards your project. Thank you very much. Mr. Eze, I think you can go on.
Okay, so I believe that all of us understood what Rose just said. So we'll be dropping all the information. We'll be dropping all the information with your teacher so that teacher can give you more detailed information. So if you have more questions, you ask your teacher is going to ask us, and we'll give you all that you need. Okay?
Okay, sir.
So right now we are taking screenshots of the screen. Yeah. See all of your beautiful faces. My students from JSS Kwakwalada, I've been to your school a few times. So, but don't forget, we are coming to your school. We are having school visits. So when we come to your school, we'll be able to meet all the teams and answer some of your questions in person and show you how to use these productivity tools, how to collaborate in person. Okay? So prepare and wait for us. We will be in some of your schools next week. Okay? So that we're dropping this class on YouTube, so you go and watch it. So don't forget our YouTube name, our YouTube handle. Please write it down on a piece of paper. Induce Tech Foundation. That is the name of the YouTube. So you can watch more during the holiday. We'll be dropping more videos on YouTube on how to use Figma, how to use Google Forms, how to use Google Sheets, how to use Google Doc, how to use everything, all the tools we've taught you how to use it. We'll be dropping videos on YouTube. So these things can help you design your product. Okay? So the YouTube handle is Induce Tech Foundation. We'll be dropping it with your teacher. Your teacher will hand it over to you so that you can go and follow us. Make sure you subscribe to our page so you can get notified whenever we drop videos. Okay. So our community manager will be telling us about the most active schools and incentives we have for our most active schools. Okay.
So
okay, I'll get this. So she's going to get the list of our most active school. Okay. We have some schools that have been active from the very first day to today. We have some things for you, teachers, students. Okay. Okay, so we have our most active school, then we will okay.
Okay, but so our most active school so far, Gwagwalada. JSS Gwagwalada is our most active school from day one. They've been active. We also have Government Girls Secondary School Park. And we also have Government Secondary School Buhari. They've been actively with us since Monday.
Okay. So these are our three most active schools. We have something coming for you. Well, we are all been active from day one. We've all been in the chat box. We've all contributed to this class, and we are all winners. Okay. So see you guys in the week. So we all have something for all our active schools, but we'll see you guys in the week. We'll be coming to your schools. I hope all the 5 students that are participating are going to be available for us to see, so we can answer your questions and guide you on how to present your project, so that we can have our win with the laptop, with the earphones, with the iPhone, with the Samsung, with the tablet. Okay? So see you guys next week. Have a lovely weekend, and I wish you all success in your forthcoming exams. I want you all to come out with flying colors. Okay? Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Just do the talk, you know the sales.
Yeah, shut bye-bye, shut bye-bye.
Someone is
Bye bye. Bye-bye.
Nice yourself now.
Bye.
Bye, Gary.
Let's see your school.
Bye.
Let's see your school.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yes, Papi, bye.
Bye.
Yes, DGSS, bye.
Bye, GSS Jadi. GSS
Bye,
Jadi.
JSS Quali. Bye, JSS Jadi. Bye, JSS. Bye, JSS. Okay, see you guys.